Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to Daily Red, your lunchtime catch-up on all things Liverpool FC and your daily reminder that the Reds remain top of the league. Tonight, Liverpool travel to the south coast to take on managerless Southampton in the EFL Cup, our third Premier League tie in a row in the EFL Cup, the only team still in the tournament that's played all Premier League opposition to this point. Obviously, with them being without a manager, it's tough to know what they'll be like. We obviously played them recently under Russell Martin, where they were unusually difficult to beat, considering in the two home games after they played us, they got spanked by 5 in both of them. Interim manager, unlikely to stay. He's the 21s manager, so it's unlikely he's even all that interested in the first team job. So it's not like he's got anything to lose here. He's not auditioning for this job. So he can be brave. He can go for the win. And maybe that's what we'll see Southampton do. Maybe we see them go with a strong team and try and win the game. Because there is a school of thought that if you can put together a decent cup run, it can carry over into the league and spark your league form into life. Obviously, they have been garbage in the Premier League thus far. Their only win coming by way of a victory over our beloved neighbours, the Ev. Other than that, it's been many defeats and 2 draws. They drew at home to Ipswich and away to Brighton, which is by far their best result of the season. Worth noting that in the games in which they have taken points, all 3 of them, they've only scored 1 goal in each of those games. Defensively, they are a mess, have been most of the season, if not all of the season. I think they're 1 goal shy of the Premier League record for most goals given up through an error. And we're not even halfway through. So that's a very impressive feat from Southampton. But we shouldn't ignore that there is a lot of talent in that squad. You know, Taylor Harwood-Bellis is a very talented young centre-back. I think they've got a very talented young goalkeeper in Basuna who's injured. Ramsdale everybody knows I'm not a fan, but he's not the worst goalkeeper in the league. Let's be fair. You know, he's a mid-table goalkeeper. Kyle Walker-Peters is a very good fullback who can play both sides. And I wouldn't be against us bringing him in as squad depth if, let's say, for example, the club made a decision that Trent was going to leave and we were just going to promote Conor Bradley into the starting role. Now, I wouldn't be in favour of Bradley becoming the starter. I don't think he's anywhere close to that level yet. Maybe he gets there, maybe he doesn't. The standards at Liverpool, remember, are much different than they were a few years ago. And people can say, oh, well, if Trent never got his chance. We were competing for top 4 when Trent got his chance. We're competing to win titles now. There's a vast difference. Also, Trent is a once-in-a-lifetime type of player. Conor Bradley, with respect, is not. But if we did make that decision, wouldn't be against Walker-Peters as just a solid backup. Can also play left back. So, you know, in a situation like we're in now, if both of your left backs were out, he could just slide across. I still think Bella Kotchap has something about him. And if we were looking for a cheap, young, development backup centre-back, I wouldn't be against Bella Kotchap. He's obviously missed all of this season so far. I think he had shoulder reconstruction surgery for an injury that's been lingering for a couple of years now. In his first season at Southampton, he dislocated his shoulder. They didn't do a surgery. He just waited it out and let it heal naturally. And I don't think it healed properly. And it's affected him since. I think that's what kind of ruined his loan spell last year, was that he was playing with a lot of pain. So he's had the surgery now to correct the issue. Before he got hurt, he was playing really well for them. And I wouldn't be against us taking a flyer on him as like a fourth centre-back. He's got the physical attributes to be a decent Ebu back. Who else? I do like Nathan Wood. I really like Ronnie Edwards. Not for us, but I do really like both of them as young defenders. And I think in Howard, Bellis, Edwards and Wood, if Edwards is the right back, Howard, Bellis and Wood are the centre-backs, and you've got Bella Kotchap, so you've actually got 4 really good young 22 and under defenders. That's something you can build with. Even if you are relegated and forced to sell off a lot of players, that's something to start building with from the back. Your left back situation is not great, but Juan Larios does look very talented. Midfield, and Flynn Downs is fine. Aribo's fine. Smallbone's fine. Mateus Fernandes is very, very promising. Sulemana has all the talent in the world. For whatever reason, it's just never worked at Southampton. It just hasn't translated. Max Cornet is there on loan. Ryan Fraser, I mean, whatever. Leslie Ogochukwu is there on loan, but he is somebody that they could make an important part of the team for the rest of the season as a powerful box-to-box ball winner. Like, he's very similar in stature and style to Amadou Onana. He's not quite as big as Onana, but he has a lot of the same attributes. Very, very good player. They bought back Shea Charles off the loan that they sent him on and stuck those two in midfield together. That could be a really good defensive midfield pair to sit in front of a defense and give you at least a solid base so you stop shipping goals. Whether there's enough goals in the rest of the team, it would seem unlikely. But there is talent. Like, there is talent without question. Tyler Dibbling, I am on board with Tyler Dibbling as the Mo Salah successor. And I would be going to them in January and making an offer that includes, if need be, an 18-month loan back. Have him join Liverpool in the summer of 26, spend a year under Mo as the backup, and then if Mo leaves in summer 2027, Dibbling at that point would be ready to step in and take over. He'd be 21 years of age. He'd have gotten quite a good bit of experience under his belt. He'd have spent that year then learning behind Mo. He's obviously a very different type of player than Mo, but I think he's going to score a ton of goals. People can scoff all they want, but there was absolutely no evidence that Cole Palmer was going to score the type of goals he does. I think Dibling's a more talented player. I think he's a potentially elite creative player. He works like a dog. He's rapid. There's no downside to me. I think the kid is genuinely special. I really do. I think he's the one you go and get. You give Mo his contract, 2 years. If you can then, at the end of that, if he's happy to do a 1 year, you do it. It's not going to affect Dibling. You can find minutes from as a backup to Mo, as a 10, whatever. But I think he's the one you go and get. I really do. I think he is special. But for now, Southampton need to be building the team around him. Mo Amiya is the other young homegrown academy player they have there. Really talented, wide player who's probably more naturally a 10, but lacks the physicality to play as a 10. Out wide, he's a little bit like an Emile Smith-Rowe, like that same type of fluid dribbler, pace, good vision, lovely balance. Those two potentially could be at least, look, if Southampton are going down, they might as well go down having fun. They might as well give their fans something to be excited about for next season. And if it is, these two youngsters plus a Shea Charles in midfield, plus that young core of defenders, at least that's something for the fans to be excited about, to buy into. Because right now it's just a horrific dreck that they're serving up. And then forward-wise, like, Brereton Diaz is good. Archer's good. Onuachu's weird. He's just weird. He's 6'7", not very good in the air. Seemingly has the feet of Maradona. Just weird. But, like, there is talent there. So it's not like a thing that we can just look past them tonight. If they go full strength and we don't, there is a good chance they beat us. And I'm fine with that. I've said it before. I don't care about this competition this year. There's a league title to win. There's a European Cup to win. We have great opportunities to go and win both. If it comes at the cost of bowing out in this competition now, happy days. Happy days. And we know we're not going full spend tonight. So the latest from Paul Joyce, I believe Paul Joyce stole this from Indy Kayla, though, so I'm going to give Indy all the credit here, is that Trainiani is set to make his full debut, which is very exciting. Very, very exciting. He is an exceptional prospect. So if he's starting, I assume he starts as the 10. I assume Alexis starts in the double pivot, potentially with Tyler Morton, because supposedly Endo has been training at centre-back. So Endo Kwanzaa maybe in the middle.
This episode is brought to you by Disney Plus. Game on, because ESPN Plus content is available on Disney Plus. You can watch your favorites from Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus together like never before. With ESPN Plus, unwrap a full day of NBA action on Christmas Day. Tip off the festivities with the Spurs and Knicks, followed by the Mavs and Timberwolves. Then a clash between the Lakers and Warriors, followed by the 76ers and Celtics. And finally, the Nuggets face off against the Suns, all streaming December 25th. Then with Hulu, watch the terrifying sci-fi thriller Alien Romulus, where a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the ultimate horror. And on Disney Plus, follow the adventures of 4 kids across the galaxy as they meet unlikely allies and enemies in Star Wars: Skeleton Crew, starring Jude Law. All of these and more now streaming and available with a bundle subscription. Visit DisneyPlus.com for details. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the new generative AI assistant from AWS. Many tasks can make business slow, like wading through mud. Help! Luckily, there's a faster, easier, less messy choice. Amazon Q can securely understand your business data to help you streamline tasks, like summarizing quarterly results or doing complex analyses in no time. Q got this. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for adults with migraine with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Ask your doctor and visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Trent right back, Joe Gomez left back. And then maybe Trent comes off at the half and James Norris comes on and Gomez switches sides. Something like that. Then on the wings, the prevailing thought seems to be Harvey on the right, Chiesa on the left, and then Darwin up front. But with Jayden Danns in the squad and expected to see playing time, and Marinallo in the squad expected to see playing time, it could be quite a fun night to get to see a lot of these young players who haven't gotten many minutes so far this season, particularly Morton, who I am interested to see. Sometimes you watch our games and you just think Tyler Morton could do this. Not every week. Certainly not every week. He's not a starter for Liverpool. But, in games where we're cruising, on 65, you could take off one of the midfield pair, Gravenberch or Alexis, and put on Tyler Morton. And he could do a job there till the end of the game. And one of the reasons I want to see us play him a bit more is to help maintain a value. Because I would bet he's one that we have earmarked to sell, potentially in January. And we're not going to get the type of value we want if he's not playing. So I think he's worth giving minutes to tonight for sure. What else do we have then? Who will be on the touchline for Liverpool at Southampton after Arne Slot's ban? So Sipka and John Heitinga seemingly will oversee matters. Sipka Hulshoff will take on the primary responsibility, so he will be manager for the night. It worked out really well that this is the game that Arne is banned for. Liverpool versus Southampton, 10 key things. Let's have a look and see what we have here. Both managers missing. Ours because he suspended theirs because they don't have one. Slot must look at bigger picture. He has to protect certain players. Who's out? Jota not fit to start. Don't even want to see him off the bench. Robertson suspended. Tsimikas, Konate and Bradley all injured. Tsimikas is back in training though, so hopefully he's back to play soon. Christmas period coming up, we're going to need him. Diogo Jota will be in the squad but does not start. Costa Tsimikas stepped up his recovery and is close to returning, says Arne Slot. Right, this is a possible 11. So this has Kelleher, Trent, Quansah, Nallo, Norris, Endo, Morton, McAllister, Elliott, Diaz, Nunes. Really don't want to see Diaz starting. How strong will Southampton go? Aaron Ramsdale looks like he's back in goal. Jack Stevens is serving a 3-match suspension. That's a blow for us. Be great if he was playing because he's garbage. Okay, Chiesa in line to earn minutes. I think he's going to start and come off on probably... Maybe he starts, plays the first half and comes off. Or he starts, plays the first half and then if he's got it left, they give him another 15 minutes. But I think they'll want to give him a decent run here. St. Mary's dominance to continue. We've won 5 in a row there. Did you know Liverpool are aiming to reach a 20th League Cup semi-final on Wednesday, which would be a record in the competition. This is our 26th quarter-final, and it's the 8th time that Southampton and Liverpool have been drawn together, which includes the semi-finals of 1987 and 2017. Virgil played for Southampton in the first leg in 2017 before joining us. Oh God, Simon Hooper's the referee. Oh dear. Good process, lads. To go through, there is obviously the live watch along commentary thing that This Is Anfield they'll be doing as well. That's the number 10 thing. Anyway, to go through our meetings with Southampton in this competition very quickly. In 1960, on the 16th of November, we took on Southampton at Anfield and lost 2-1. Then we played them on the 5th of October 1971, and we beat them 1-0. Following on from there, we played them in that 1987 semi-final, and we drew 0-0 at the Dell, it would have been back then, and then beat them 3-0 in the replay. When did we next play them then? 1999, they beat us 2-1. I believe that would have been 99. Would that have been the early days of St. Mary's or maybe the last days of the Dell? 2002, we beat them 3-1 on the 6th of November. 2015, the 14-15 season, we beat them 6-1 on the 2nd of December, which would have been at this stage of the competition. We beat them 6-1 down there. Is that the Sturridge hat-trick game where Emre Can got that outrageous assist? I think that's that game, isn't it? And then the 2016-17 season, they beat us in the semi-final. They beat us 2-0 on aggregate. They won both games by a goal to 0, and Virgil played, I think, the first game, not the second game. So yeah, a bit of a mixed bag against them in this competition, to be fair. And for all the times we've won it, we haven't beaten them on any of our marches to win it. This is, of course, our competition. It's the competition we have won more than anyone else. City were starting to close that gap until recent years when Jurgen decided to take the competition a bit more seriously. It's one of those where it used to hold great importance. Like back in the 80s, 70s and 80s, it was hugely important. The 90s, it was still important. Obviously, winning it in 95 or 96, we beat Bolton in the final. 95, the McManaman final, was massive because we were in such a funk at the time, trophy-wise. We won the FA Cup against Southampton in 92 under Souness. Hadn't won anything then for a couple of years. We win that, but then that's it. We starve for trophies then until Houllier wins the cup treble, which obviously again included this and was started by this. It was winning the League Cup in 01 that really kind of kick-started that season. But since the Premier League went to this whole, 4 teams qualified for the Champions League, since the Champions League expanded and changed the way it did, for the top clubs like ourselves, like United, like Arsenal, like Chelsea, like City, it is a secondary competition. Like, it really is a secondary competition. It's not a major for us. There's 2 majors, the Premier League and the Champions League. Now, for a lot of other clubs, And I would include in that the likes of Spurs, Newcastle, Everton, and Villa, who are all big clubs, but haven't had any real success. Well, haven't had any success in many's the year. This is a major for them because they are not in a position to win the league. They're not in a position to win the Champions League. So the two major trophies for them become this and the FA Cup. But as I say, this is a competition that we have won 10 times. 81, 82, 83, and 84. 95, 01, 03 under Jed again. 2012 under Kenny. And then 22 and 24 under Jurgen. We've been to the final 4 times and lost. 1978, we were beaten by Nottingham Forest. Little did we know at the time that Nottingham Forest team was about to embark on one of the most incredible few years that any club has ever had, having been promoted from Division 2, winning this, then winning the league, then going and winning the European Cup, and then winning the European Cup again. Unbelievable. And again, it was kickstarted by this. 87, we lost the final. Arsenal beat us. 05, Mourinho beats us for his first trophy at Chelsea. And then 2016, what would have been Jurgen's first trophy, but Man City beat us in the final on penalties after a game I thought we could have won. But yeah, 14 finals, by far the most. The next highest is 10. There's a few clubs on 10, Manchester United and Chelsea. But this is our competition, which does lend it a bit more than just saying, well, it's not a major for us. It is the one that we have historically done so well in. You know, some clubs, Tottenham, United, Arsenal, the FA Cup is their cup competition, but this one is our cup competition. And it is nice to win it. Like, it is nice to win it. And if our squad was a little bit deeper and we didn't have the injuries in defence that we have, I'd say, yeah, go for it full bore. But we do have the injuries, and therefore I'm not overly bothered if we do go out. AnfieldIndex.com, there is a predicted starting 11. Sergio Aguero, ITK. Aguero was said that Mo Salah has agreed a new deal. There is also growing rumours that Virgil has agreed a new deal. If these things turn out to be happy, then Merry Christmas to all of us. Happy? True, I meant. If these things turn out to be true, then Merry Christmas to all of us. 6 forwards Liverpool could target. I'll come back and I'll critique these. There's a how to watch tonight's game. There's a piece about tonight's game. Then podcast-wise, we have quite a lot going on at the moment. There is, obviously, yes, there's Daily Red. There is a new Scouted. There is the post-conference presser where Dave Davis reviewed the comments by Arne Slot in the press conference. There is a new Under Pressure, so do check that out as well. It's Dan, Kenneth, Hamza, and Sai. So make sure you're listening to all of them. Now, 6 forwards Liverpool could target to replace Darwin Núñez. Let me be the judge. Omar Marmoush. Very good player. Very good player. Not a number 9. Not a number 9. And off the left, he's not the same type of player as he is as that secondary striker. Very good player. Doesn't really fit how we play. Also, absolute Eintracht Frankfurt voodoo. Victor Gyokeres would be a firm yes from me. He is absolutely outrageously good. He is a proper number 9. I think he could be Harry Kane 2.0. Benjamin Sesko, he's very, very talented. He's got an immense skill set. I'd like to see him develop a little bit more. But I wouldn't say no. Jonathan David, well, the person in that picture is not Jonathan David. That is Angel Gomes. He's on a free in the summer, so he could be had cheap in January. He is a good player, but ultimately, I don't think he's an elite level player. Marcus Thuram is someone we flagged on the transfer committee a few years ago. Again, I don't think he's an elite level player, but he is a really good all-rounder. He's big, he's quick, he's powerful. Had a very good season last year, having a great season this year. I wouldn't be against it, but it would be price dependent with him. João Pedro would absolutely be the one for me. Absolutely, he would be the one for me. He is special. So, the Anfield Index analysis says that Omar Marmoush stands out as the most realistic and exciting option. I disagree. João Pedro walks in. João Pedro could provide proven quality that boosts Liverpool's attacking depth. He walks in day one and starts. Day one. He is the best striker in the building. The best number 9 at the club. Day one. His all-round game is exceptional. Yeah. There we go. That'll do for today. I will be back tomorrow. Enjoy the game. I won't be on Raw. I think it's Guy, Carl, and actually I have no idea who the third person is. Could be Jim, could be Harry, could be somebody else. But I'll be back for Spurs. Hopefully, Brother Danny will be joining us for Spurs. But as yet, Vodafone are yet to get their finger out. So pray for Trev's broadband. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at anfieldindex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
All right, we're all set for the party. I've trimmed the tree, hung the mistletoe, and paired all those weird-shaped knives and forks with the appropriate cheeses. And I plugged in the Bartesian.
Bartesian?
It's a home cocktail maker that makes over 60 premium cocktails, plus a whole lot of seasonal favorites, too. I just got it for $50 off. So, how about a Cosmopolitan or a mistletoe margarita?
I'm thirsty.
Watch. I just pop in a capsule, choose my strength, and...
Wow, it's beginning to feel more seasonal in here already.
If your holiday party doesn't have a bartender, then you become the bartender. Unless you've got a Bartesian, because Bartesian crafts every cocktail perfectly in as little as 30 seconds. And I just got it for $50 off.
'Tis the season to be jollier.
Add some holiday flavor to every celebration with the sleek, sophisticated home cocktail maker, Bartesian. Get $50 off any cocktail maker at bartesian.com/cocktail. That's BARTESIAN.com/cocktail.